more. You all depend on your questions, your suggestion, and also a video. Now, this is Elmina Castle or St. George's Castle. It was actually built by Portuguese in 1482. It became a castle from 1400 to 1600. Now, 1400 to 1600, we're looking at the Portuguese who used the place here to trade and also to spread Christianity. In line of trading, there used to be exchange of gold, ivory, spices, and more. But with the good concept, it was more when it comes to its exchange. And because of the more gold here, it's now compelled the Portuguese to name here to be Elmina. Elmina simply means the mine, but there was mispronunciation of it then. Now we're talking about Elmina, and that has been the popular name of the place. Now, 1600 upwards, that was when they shifted their attention to slavery. With the slave trade, they started with 1,000 enslaved Africans. 600 were men, 400 were women. But please do not forget, the number of it increased afterwards. And more or less, the children who were found right in the dungeons were not even counted to that of the adults. So in conclusion, we're dealing with more than 1,000 who were all divided to be held right in the dungeons for 3 months and more whilst waiting for the ship to come. The question we should be asking ourselves is, what was the condition that they made them to go through during that period of time that were held right in the dungeons? And that's what we are here to go through. So we're going through, that is to motivate and to guide us to make sure what happened in the past should not repeat itself again, since slavery is still going on in a different way. It is about time we need to tell the African history in the African perspective, and together we can make the world a better place. Don't forget, the Europeans went beyond to write our own history for us to be doing them in our schools. And as we talk now, precisely in Florida, US, they try their maximum best when it comes to stopping of teaching African history in schools. The question we need to ask ourselves is, why do they want to stop the teaching of African history in schools? Don't forget, Marcus Garvey made a statement that people without the knowledge of their past or their history is like a tree without its root. It's about time we need to visit our root, then together we'll know where we're heading towards, as you've done now. So we're going to take a walk to go to the realities then. Any question or suggestion so far, please? We good? Mr. Please. Right, so with the starting of the slavery, as I said, with that of the 1,000 enslaved Africans, out of it were 400 women, 600 men. With that of the 400 women, all the region we have down here, including this place, was where they did divide them to be held here. So then, this place happens to be the largest place when it comes to the division of the 400 intake. We're talking about 150 women out of the 400 who were here. But don't forget, and I'll still repeat myself once again, the children right here were not counted. So if we are to add them, we're dealing with more than 150 who were held here at that time. Then, all the gates that we have right there were being gated with a metal bar. So the gated doors that we have there, it happens to be the point where ventilation was coming in. The other way for ventilation to be right here is that of the small hole that we have over there. But on that side, it leads to a place where the soldiers kept their weapons in there. Weapons could be guns, gunpowder, and other items. The gunpowder is toxic or poison. Should there be leakages, the scent of it will be coming from that side to this place. And this is where we have the women held here. Not only that, we also look at the other aspect of human nature. Urinating, vomiting, the physics aspect. The women too, we're talking about the menstrual cycle when it comes to the monthly basis of it. All this happened right here whilst we're here. Do not also forget that whatever the enslaved Africans were being captured with, that was the same thing they made them to use here for 3 months and more. With respect to what we put on every day, when they come in contact with wet things like water, the sweating aspect become so weak when they are not being dried. So then, now look at the men, the women, and that of the children who were found right in the Danish naked. With the nakedness of going to the realities. That's a waiting for that they made them to sleep on at that time. There used to be outbreak of disease and more. Some of them lost their lives before the ship to arrive in 3 months' time. We always keep on saying, those who die should be resting in perfect peace. Let's see what we have there, please. Now, what we have right here, this happens to be the source of water which they used then for cooking, washing, and drinking. It used to be a clean water at that time, but because it's no more in use for a long time, we have it this way. The same water right there was what they used to be washing the women that they did abused sexually. Through that, up there was where the governor would stand when it comes to the pointing or the selecting of the woman. And when that is done, the soldiers do fetch water here to wash them before they took them to the governor's bedroom. Let's see what we have right there. Let's come. So this side, this happens to be a secret steps which lead to the governor's bedroom. Right there isn't the main entrance to see the governor's bedroom. We're going to use the main entrance to see the place. But they meant that side purposely for the enslaved women they were abusing sexually. That was when they had to walk them up to the governor's bedroom. So what happens? Some of the women were found pregnant right in the dungeons that we have there. So those who got pregnant, they had a place where they kept them until they deliver. And after delivering, they do have some specific years. Those children were now separated from their mothers. The mothers were sent back to the dungeons to be sold out. And then the children were held here at the point of them educating them, which we're talking about the indoctrination aspect of it. So this happens to be the mixed race children. Through that, we now look at the Europeans who did introduce the European culture in the country of Ghana and Africa as well. Let's see what we have there, please.
Go ahead, babe.
Now, what we have right here, that is the metal body cannon ball, which they used then to punish the women that they claimed those men refused to go to the governor's bedroom. So at the point of them punishing them, they had the chain on top of it, and the chain on top of it was what they used to shackle them. What we have here is very heavy. With its heaviness aspect, they cannot go anywhere until the punishment to be over. Not going anywhere to the punishment to be over, do not also forget about the conditioned aspect of nature. It could be raining, it could be shining. We also talking about day and night. They ought to be here until the punishment to be over. We also looking at language barrier. They did punish them here. Don't forget, the capture of the enslaved Africans, it went beyond the borders of this country. It could be anywhere, all held in here at the same time. So this is how come if you have to look at the African Americans, when you do their DNA, you can testify. We have Ghanaian, have Nigerian, Benin, and the other way around. The point right there to be serving as a lesson for those who are dangerous. Anytime we're being selected, we need to respond to the selection. Let's see what we have here, please. Now, the items that we see right here, they are not part of the slave trade. But the other way around, it also gives an idea about what happened then. Some students in the early part of 2015, they came to mimic what happened here. And with what they came to do, they used the materials right there to cover themselves. They were half naked. And they also used the chains right there to restrict their movement. They had the ways and means to lock the gates there. They started 6 in the evening for the next day 6 in the morning. When we came the next day, this place was messed up by the students. They are knitting, spitting around. Some of them had to eat themselves right here as part of what they were going through. What we do every day, we need to make sure this place is clean. The cleaners came here to wash everything away. But what we observed afterwards, 3 days getting to 1 week, the scent of it was still here. So that was give us the idea about the condition that Cory went through with the same aspect. without being cleaned for 3 months and more.
So they relived it?
Yes.
Wow.
Now let's see what we have right there. Now this happens to be the original metal bar at that time, which they used for the windows and that of the gate. And because most of these are damaged, we have the wood ones to replace them. By using this one, it should compel you to ask a simple question. The point is that if we are to look at the 21st century, when we're talking about the sea breeze in contact with metal getting rusted, so this happened to be the size or the thickness of it now. The question to be asked is, what was the original size of it at the time that they brought it from the 14th to the 16th century? It's kind of right, so with this side, this happens to be the entrance which leads to a place called the Door of No Return. Here, it was meant purposely for the enslaved women who did survive right in dungeons at the time that the ship came. So right here was where they had to walk them down to the ship. So then, there were steps for them to descend. As we talk now, the steps right there is no more. So we are going to use where they kept the men, which is the Door of No Return.
Door of No Return.
Let's come this. No. So we're going to see the door of no return. To get in there, there's actually one step down. So you can, what we see right here, with the exception of the metal gate, which has been restored, whatever to be seen right there happens to be the original size of the door of no return.
Are you?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. No matter who the enslaved Africans were, the nation everybody went through. So what they did was, the food they gave to them was only to sustain them. And also, with the condition that they made them to go through right in the dungeons for 3 months and more, no matter who they were at the time, they will reduce weight to fit with what we are seeing over there. So then, the sea was closer. By nature, it has receded.
Yeah.
They used the small boat to become the enslaved Africans to the big ship. The enslaved Africans were being branded with hot metal on their chest as their way of identifying them. And also, irrespective of their age, they do change them whilst taking them to a new world. So on their way going, the more they are stung, the ship always capsizes. The more the ship capsizes, there is a twist of this metal on the hand, neck, or the leg. Don't forget, this is a skin. It is so soft. Anything twisted in the metal from there will be issue of it. Do not also forget about the sea breeze when they come in contact with the metal getting rusted. The more or less it's infection aspect of it. So when we are to talk about slavery, those who died were more than those who survived. So this is the reason we have the flowers on that list, brought in mostly by the African Americans as their way of remembering those who died. So I'm going to welcome to the Door of Return with the question once again. Wash your head as you come back, please. Wash your head once again. Those two places happens to be a prison or cell. While you hearing the name prisons right there, it should compare to ask a simple question. With the condition that happened right in time, what they have prisons over there? What happened in there at that time? You go there to compare them. But with the exception of that place being the prisons, all the rooms that we have down was where they did divide the 600 men to be held right in there. And unfortunately, right in the middle, now the museum happens to be their church. That was a Catholic church, yes. What the side by side of it was what they kept saying that. So what were they worshiping and what were they preaching? Now, the Dutch were the second Europeans who fought against and took over the place in 1637. When the Dutch took over, they were not Catholic. They happened to be Protestants who protested against them. When they took over, they rather had to convert the Catholic Church right there to be a slave market, where they were auctioning and enslaved the Africans right in the former church. Now let's see what we have here. And this one, this is written in Dutch language, the old language of it. Now this was written in a memory of a man who died and was buried here. The name of this man is Tammy. Now this man church happens to be the last director general of the West Indies Company. Now when we're talking about the West Indies Company, they happen to be one of the biggest companies in slavery. Now he came from Zealand. Currently we're talking about Zealand to be part of Holland, another land. So what happened? This man church was the man who was taking care over the north and south coast of Africa. He first came here 16th of January 1758 and died on the 12th March the same year, 1758. At the time that he happens to be 41 years old. So when he died, he was a pastor. His name is Andres. He wrote a tribute about Ted to be a good man, and then got fear at the point of slavery. So, now let's compare the prison. Please come. Go inside. Right, so with this side, being a prison, they meant it for their own European soldiers who went beyond the reach of the place. Some of them got drunk, misbehaved, and a whole lot of it. So anybody they did find caught, they brought the person right here to punish them. And with this side, when the punishment is over, they do release them. The gate closed happens to the original metal gate. And these are some of the old metal bars. Just look at the spacing aspect of it and do your own imagination. How well would this place be ventilated? And let's see the next one. Meant this side for the enslaved Africans who were fighting for their freedom to get out. The freedom fighters, the leaders among them were captured on a daily basis, brought right here to be killed, to be served as a lesson for those in dungeons not to have the thought of rebelling the place. So here, no food, no water, nobody came out from this place alive. And the point is that by nature, we all cannot die at the same time. So if one person dies right here, meaning those who are not dead, they need to look on a dead colleague to wait for their time to die. So these are some of the scratching hands that we do have on the walls for those who are all struggling to survive. We always keep on saying, with those who die, should rest in perfect peace. It's good. for the bedroom for the governor. The bedroom right here, we do have a living room for the sitting right. Let's see. This is the living room or the sitting room for the governor, and then beyond happens to be the dining room. That's the governor's kitchen, and the floor that we see happens to be the original floor. So you see the floor right here, she compared to do a simple comparison where they kept the enslaved Africans and that of a floor of a kitchen. Let's come. Now we saw the church of the Portuguese down there. This side happens to be a Dutch Reformed church. But the point is that beneath the church was where they kept the enslaved women.
So they was in the church upstairs.
Yes, exactly.
And the slaves down
Yeah.
there.
Let's come. Right, so this is where the governor will stand when it comes to the pointing or the selecting of the woman.
So the women will be down
Exactly.
here. And
then
he'll
you
pick.
stand. Exactly. Now let's see this one.
These are secret stairs.
Exactly. That's what
Wow.
they brought the woman up to the governor's bedroom. So from here, we will see the governor's bedroom. Let's come.
Sneak up here.
Was meant for soldiers rather to protect this one. And these are the weapons they use for their fighting should there be any attack. Let's come closer and look at the side. That's a sand guy. So they put a stick right in the middle and use the sand to turn it. While we have the coconut planting, there used to be water in there. So water being inside. Over there, you switch that, that's the outcome. So a sleeping place for the European soldiers by Bush. So you're gonna have a quick look and we go. But this was the book that I used to make. If you want to read more about the history of slavery in the African perspective, written by an African author. We do have this there for you, and that's a video documentary about the slave dining that we have in the country. So have a quick look, there we go. What's up?
150 cities. This size.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Good? Alright, let's go. You want? Huh? Okay, we're good. What's your name? I'm 12. Thank you. boardroom or a conference room for the government. Should there be any discussion, this is where they do it. As we talk now, it's a place where it's not opportunities. You're going to have a look around, but let's see this side before you have a look around. Let's come.
Hello. Thank you.
Right, so before we do end up the tour, the two buildings that we have up there happens to be the watchtower for the soldiers when it comes to protection of the place. Now let's look straight. The white building at the last point of the sea. The white building at the last point of the Cape Coast Castle. At the last point of the sea. Any question or any suggestion so far, please? If there's no question, this is what the town will allow me to do with you. Once again, my name is Mensa. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you
So
again. Mason?
Yeah, Mensa.
Thank you.
You're welcome.